What's happening? Not my normal backdrop. Usually it's trees and woods and forest, but yeah. NYC, and the sun is coming up. You can see it. I don't know how many floors I am, maybe 18 or something. I got what do I have? Board meeting for Jocko Fuel, and then 3 meetings with bankers. Won't get into that, but I love coming to the city. I actually love the city. I love to get in and out. I was talking about this yesterday, and yesterday was a shit show. I'll tell you, this is and I want to tell you about that because it's so life. It's so business. I was supposed to fly to New York. I had booked a flight on Delta. It's a direct. It's supposed to take like an hour, and the airlines these days they're challenged, to say the least. Anyways, something broke on the airplane. That flight got delayed, so I switched to another flight. That flight got delayed. So I'm looking at my watch. I'm kind of like, all right, I'm on the verge of just driving here. And this guy, he comes up to the counter, and there's this really nice woman. And listen, always be nice to people. Don't be a douchebag. You're gonna get so much more done if you just are human and not entitled. But this guy jumped in front of everybody because his ass was on fire because he was gonna miss his connection. And as probably a 60-year-old man, he could barely contain his emotions. I tell you, by 60 years old, if you don't have enough emotional intelligence to put your head on a swivel and look outside your peripheral and see what's going on and understand like you're not the only one in the world that has issues, that's a real problem. Some people never get out of that. Some people never get out of that mindset, which is really terrible. And this girl did such a wonderful job handling it. I almost was like, man, you got to come work for Origin. Like, move from Portland to Farmington and go work for our customer experience. But she was really good the way she handled him. Anyways, second flight gets delayed. Okay, finally we get on the flight. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do here? I started calculating the drive time, and I get on the flight. I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden the captain comes on. He's like, "Yeah, we're not taking off for a little while." So I kindly asked the lady, the stewardess, if I could get off the plane, which she let me do. It wasn't taxied yet. And so she opened the door and she let me off. I got in my truck and I just drove to New York City. It took me 5 hours from Portland, Maine, so it wasn't bad. And I got here, and nobody died. Nobody died. Was it inconvenient? Yeah, but did I make the most of it? Absolutely. We have talked about on this channel before, and this is just a small instance about you can't control what you can't control, but you can respond. You can control your response. Like, you can respond, and I'm not saying react. I use respond as that term is got a whole different meaning than react. You can control the way you respond. So you can't control what you can't control, but you can control the way you respond to things you can't control. And I remind myself of this because these are words that I gave my kids growing up. That, probably one things they remember to this day. And it's just really important. That doesn't mean don't like, doesn't mean give up. I don't want that connotation. we Jocko was telling me about this thing they used to do. This was years ago. He was telling me about this called a go-go scenario, and I wasn't a war fighter. I didn't serve, and so I don't know a lot of the terminology, but he called it a go-go scenario, and he's like, Pete, the way that the military usually calls this is a go no go scenario. So it's a go no go. He's like, we always did go go scenario, and and it didn't matter what was happening, you were going, right? So you were going to get there somehow. He's like, on occasion, we had to step back because we were so bullheaded. We just wanted to always go. We had to step back and assess and look at the situation and ask ourselves, are we missing something? What's the risk tolerance here? What's the percentage? What's the success ratio percentage? Like, and just make sure you get input from everybody else to make sure that the go-go scenario shouldn't instead be a go no-go scenario. Yesterday was a go-go scenario. Somebody else got off the plane with me, and he was also headed to a board meeting in Texas, and he was sitting behind me, and there's somebody on the plane, and he had known the person or something, and finally he's like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna call it. He's like, I'm just gonna do it from home. He's like, I'm gonna miss my flight, and it was like just so relaxed. And I admire people like that who are just like, yeah, I'm just gonna call it, and I'll zoom in. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, dude's he's just given up. It's a go no go scenario for him. There was zero choice for me to come to the city today. I have to come to the city for the board meeting, banker meetings. I've got to see people. I've got to shake hands. I've got to hear their voices. I've got to ask questions. I'm not going to get that experience through a screen, especially with this very important company, Jocko Fuel. I rarely get to see these folks anymore since I resigned as CEO in January, and so I want to see the fam. I want to see them and bullshit with them and talk to them, and that's way more important to me. Having a warm body in the room than driving 5 or 6 hours, like yippity skippity. I listened to some classes, some master classes. It's such a good app, master class. Actually, Jocko's on master class. You should check that out. He's got a whole thing on it. I haven't watched it yet, but they did a good job filming it. Like they really did. They do such a tremendous job with their production value, production quality. So. So yeah, anyway, it's going to be a full day. I'm not taking you inside the boardroom here. I'm not taking you into any of the meetings I have after that. But I'm going to spend some time in the city the next couple days, enjoying the food, the sights and sound, listening to the conversations. And people watching, which is my favorite. And last night I had a tremendous Italian dinner, like ridiculous. So that was a lot of fun. And I got to do a Q&A also this week. So stay tuned on that. I got a list of things. I'll try to do the Q&A for tomorrow's vlog. I'll try to make that happen. All right, listen, y'all enjoy your day. Peace.